There's a need for that process, a universal human need, but I don't necessarily think it requires some of the framework that my church tried to give me. And that's more or less what this is about. I sort of reject the idea that someone else's forgiveness can change the consequences of my actions, although it may become part of my actions. The need to seek forgiveness, the need to own my actions and confess, for lack of any better term. As I grew older, I came to understand this ritual in much more depth and detail. I met people throughout my life who increasingly came to be defined not by what was best in themselves, but by what was worst. Not by what they were striving for, but what they had failed to achieve. And you know people like this, who define themselves by what they are not, who define themselves by their worst moments. I don't accept that either. While we Unitarian Universalists don't specifically adhere to any dogma around sin or redemption, there is a strong humanist thread that runs through our tradition, which accepts that to be human is to be flawed, and that in that brokenness might lie our redemption. The religious thinker and philosopher Martin Buber said, "We can be redeemed only to the extent to which we see ourselves." And I agree with that, with some caveats, some additions. We can't always see ourselves by ourselves. We can't always understand our actions unless we engage with others in a compassionate way and understand the ramifications of our actions, our choices, and our relationships. So for this reason, I agree with the necessity of this idea of brokenness, of wrongness, even of sin, if that's the word that we choose to use. Because I think it's important that our community be a part of how we achieve this process. And what is redemption really? Think about the word redeem. What does it mean to redeem? It means to imbue something with value. I redeem this dollar bill, and I get about 97 cents worth of stuff. To redeem myself is to return to a state of value, as if I had somehow ever left it. And this is where my questioning kicks in. But redemption is only defined by the negative first. Before I see the value of standing up, I must first fall down. Before I see the truth of love, I must first be harmed and sometimes harm others. Because if I don't feel pain, I don't understand what needs to be done in this world, which is to get rid of it somehow, some way, in others and in myself. And if I'm getting decent at that, maybe in the world itself. And if that doesn't keep you busy, I don't know what will.